today's Finance Administrative Committee meeting. All are present. We have Councilman Stanford here virtually. Have we sound checked Mr. Stanford? Make sure he is good. Thank you very much. Today's agenda has been distributed to committee members.
Move to approve as submitted.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you. We also have before us the minutes from our January 11th, 2024 meeting.
Move to approve the meeting minutes of January 11, 2024.
Second.
All in favor? Next, we have appearance by citizens. Is there anyone signed up to speak today, Kelly?
Yes, Skip Hoagland.
Lawyer Coltrane, why did you and Greg Alford draft the illegal fraudulent 5-year multi-million chamber DMO contract with Bluffton lawyer Terry Finger and conspired with the chamber lawyers? You all should be disbarred for this. Mayor Perry, why did you lie and commit criminal fraud for your buddy Bill Miles, saying you saw the millions in illegal tax use accounting? You violated your oath of office and more than a good reason to remove you as mayor. Alex Brown, the head of finance, he's not qualified, nor am I. We have no CPAs on this council or finance committee. And Alex, who asked you to serve on the Greater Island Council Committee, and lawyer Stanford, it's even worse, you were the GIC president. Ames, who invited you to the GIC meeting? You people will not tell us who encouraged you to do this. And Patsy Bryson is also a lawyer, along with Stanford, who ought to know better. And they keep on voting for the illegal use. And Tamara, when I asked her one-on-one, she said, ask Mark Orlando. Does Orlando control your votes? This Finance Administration Committee reviews and analyzes the town's budgets and financial statements, including balance sheet management, vendor contracts, accommodation tax funds, and the town's designated marketing organization, which is the chamber. Have any of you seen the millions handed to Bill Miles is illegally used? The answer is no, none of you. This committee also monitors the performance of the town's designated marketing organization, which again is an illegally operated chamber of commerce. How do you monitor the chamber's performance and justify handing Bill Miles and the chamber millions when all the tourism is done for free by the internet and technology? Have you seen where Bill Miles has spent all these millions, including how he generates a $500,000 annual pay package, a $2 million home and Indigo Run from the illegal use of our tax funds? This is crazy stuff. Today, we will hear another fraudulent illegal chamber DMO presentation that allows the continued illegal use of millions of our tax funds. Thank you very much. And I didn't introduce myself. I'm Skip Hoagland, Windmill Harbor.
Thank you, Mr. Hoagland. Anyone else?
Peter Geary? Peter Geary?
You calling Lynn Greeley?
No, it's Peter Geary. We've got Lynn Greeley after.
You're calling Lynn Greeley? Okay. I'm here for Lynn Greeley's 3 minutes. Thank you. It's becoming not only an outrage for this council to keep allowing this DMO chamber funding, but it's become an embarrassment. It's illegal for this council to even fund the nonprofit chamber under IRS 501-C6 nonprofit tax codes. It's worse to allow this chamber to use our funds to develop a DMO town website called HiltonHeadIsland.org. The chamber claims it owns, not the taxpayers, to sell advertising and take the profits that it is commingling and laundering by Bill Miles to profit his $500,000 salary, his $2 million house, and all the lavish chamber spending. Worse, the town lawyers drafting a fraudulent DMO chamber contract that has no audit or accounting provision to identify all the illegal tax use. Again, Mayor Perry, you lied and said you saw chamber accounting with your friend Bill Miles. You're also a chamber member with this entire council. And worse, you all use illegal tax money to join the chamber versus your own money. This is an illegal use of tax monies and a quid pro quo. We have 2 lawyers in this council again, Patty Bryson and Glenn Stanford. They should both know better. They're lawyers. They ought to know better. I don't understand why all of you keep allowing this illegal funding to the chamber with no accounting and keep violating your campaign promises and your fiduciary responsibilities to all taxpayers. Do any of you deny this? Let me let you listen to something this morning. I'm going to let you listen to the FBI lying on a recording this morning.
Good morning, Mr. Hoagland. This is Agent Baker. You've been trying to reach me in reference to the case regarding the Commerce Department or the Chamber of Commerce at Hilton Head Island. I'm calling to let you know that the case was closed. I thought that information was relayed to you. The case was closed for lack of evidence in 2017. Should you have any additional questions, I invite you to speak to my supervisor, John Warrington. He can be reached at 843-881-0194. Thank you, sir.
I'll have this information for you. You can call the FBI yourself and find out where they're at. Do any of you deny my facts? Does anybody in this room deny my facts? Mr. Fluker, you're a lawyer. You were head of ATAX committee. Shame on you. You facilitated this and kept on recommending this theft. You laugh. You think it's funny. I don't think it's funny. I don't think taxpayers think it's funny. I think they find it very sad and very disgusting is what I think they find. So, is anybody in this room denying my facts? Anybody? Would you come up and please tell me what those are? I'd like to hear what facts you deny. You're the CPA for the chamber. In fact, you're the one.
Okay, Mr. Oakland, your time is up, sir.
Hey, Neil, you're in big trouble because you're going to be investigated
Oakland.
for laundering all this money.
Oakland, your time is up, sir.
Yeah, you can't deny it. You can sit there and say you deny it, but you can't.
Do we have anyone else signed up?
Gavin Greeley? Gavin Greeley? That's all we have.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Moving along to our presentation and overview of the upcoming FY 24-25 Destination Marketing Plan and DMO Budget creation. We will have Ms. Angie Stone presenting to us. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, council members. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to come and speak a little bit about the timeline we have for this year's DMO budget, marketing plan and budget creation. I think I got to get a clicker here. All right, there we go. First, I want to address a little background, talk about the contract and where we stand in that, then outline the key dates and steps in the process of approving the DMO's marketing plan and budget, and then talk about the reporting aspects that are included as part of our contract, and then the result of collaboration between the town council, and the Destination Marketing Organization over the last year. The town entered into their contract, the current contract with the DMO on December 1st of 2020. That contract expires December 1st of 2025. The contract outlines very specifically the requirements for the DMO in terms of reporting, the creation of a budget, the creation of a marketing plan, and their audit requirements. This year's timeline kicked off on February 1st with the meeting of the Marketing Council. That resulted in what will be a draft that will come forth from the Chamber to the Marketing Council later this month. February 15th will be our next quarterly report from the DMO on their activities during the second fiscal quarter, or October through December of 2023. We'll have that information presented to Town Council on March 5th. March 22nd is when the marketing plan and budget are due to be submitted to the town. And then March 29th is when their metrics, industry metrics report will be submitted for review. April 4th, the marketing plan and budget will be presented to the ATAC committee for consideration. May 14th, they will bring that before this body, the Finance Administrative Committee, and then on June 4th, it will be presented to the entire council. As we dig into what the reporting requirements are for the chamber that are outlined in their contract, there's an auditor's report that is due each November from the chamber. There are specific requirements outlined in the contract on what must be reported on, how many or what percentage of transactions should be reviewed, other information to that effect. The DMO activity report that is listed in the contract is due on November 15th. Because it is reported on a calendar year basis rather than a fiscal year, this has actually been moved forward 8 months. And so we have that report that was listed March 29th of this year is when those industry metrics will be reported on. So in addition to the contractual requirements that the chamber has with us, the town staff meets with the chamber on a quarterly basis, their activities as our DMO. Those reports we will begin sharing with council immediately upon receipt. So you can expect to see a copy of that report coming to you via email shortly after we receive it on the 15th. They will also begin to present the findings in council or the activities to the full council as soon after that report is issued. And our first one will be on March the 5th. So that will be presented at the town council meeting. So what is the result of all of this interaction and collaboration with the DMO? Many of you, or all of you, should have received a copy of the 2024 official vacation planner. This document looks very different than it did 4 or 5 years ago. It includes the types of activities, the itineraries that we have asked about, marketing our people and our ecological beauty here, as well as the fact that we have such an amazing array of activities and opportunities that may not have been covered previously. Our pride of place. We have itineraries, again, that focus on arts and culture, ecotourism, history, recreation, and wellness, all of which are key points that council has asked about, our residents have asked about. And this is about educating our visitors about what's important to us, who we are as a people, excuse me, our history and heritage, the historical places that are throughout the island and available for folks to enjoy. We have our gullah culture, which is very unique to Hilton Head Island, that is on full display in this vacation planner, as well as our ecotourism. We have an article here. You might recognize that handsome man down there in the bottom right corner is Mr. Ames. We want people to come here and see what it is that we love, what brought us here to live, and what keeps us here, and what keeps our visitors coming back. Our natural harmony, wellness activities that are available on the island, opportunities for people to really get out and enjoy our beautiful scenery and work on their fitness. Oysters are clearly important to the island. This tells a little bit more about them. So maybe our visitors aren't just eating an oyster at a restaurant. They understand the full implication of what those oysters mean to us as an island and to our waterways. Culture, arts and culture. We have a rich arts and cultural activity scene here, and this outlines where people might find hidden treasures in terms of public art that are available on the island, as well as itineraries for immersing themselves in music and other displays of culture and art. And then get outside. Clearly, the beauty of this island is second to none. Ways that you can enjoy on 2 wheels, ways that you can enjoy with a racket. Yes, that includes pickleball as well as tennis. And then just reminding folks that no matter where you are on this island and what you're doing, whether it's playing golf, bicycling, you're very close to historical scenery and historical places. This is the Leamington Lighthouse right there on the golf course. So the result of the collaboration has been that the vacation guide looks very different than it has in the past. It speaks to who we are and encourages the type of visitors we would like to have here, who are aware of our what's important to us and aware of all of the amazing things besides the beach and golf and restaurants that may be enjoyed. While those are important, the rest of this is as well. Are there any questions on the timeline?
Thank you, Angie. I'm sure that we will have some comments and questions, not only on just the timeline, so stay close for us. I wanted to just take a moment. This is an important topic, obviously. We have Honorable Mayor here. Welcome, sir. Councilwoman Becca's in the back as well. If you all feel the need to be a part of the conversation, please feel free to. Now we'll go amongst our council members with any questions or comments. Mr. Alfred? No? Mr. Stanford, can you hear us okay? Mr. Stanford? Muted.
Sorry, I didn't push the right button. I said, it's been a great report. I appreciate all the information, but I have no questions at this time. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Ames?
And Angie, thanks for your leadership in pushing this through, and thank the DMO for work collaboratively with us over the last year to bring this new pride of place forward. You said one thing that I want to emphasize: what's important to us attracts people who feel the same way, and I think that is generationally important to this community. You also mentioned industry metrics. I think something that we need to concentrate on within the next month is what are the community metrics that deal with pride of place and strengthens our place in the world regarding what's important to us. So I would just ask the DMO to help us decide what those community metrics are that relate to our comprehensive plan. Then the arts, culture, ecotourism, wellness, recreation, history, and so on. With those community metrics, I think we are truly headed in a direction that brings what residents want and what tourists receive in alignment. Thank you very much.
Okay. Let us finish, Mr. Hoagland. I will let you speak. Trust me.
Make a nice comment.
Just wait until we're done. Thank you. Continue the thought of the metrics. I know that we're operating under our current contract, which sort of spells out a set of metrics, all right? But noticing that we have pivoted to a degree, as you mentioned, the vacation planner looks a lot different, right? So I would just encourage us not to wait for the 2025 contract to address this question of new metrics, okay? I think you've heard that from most of council. That is something that we would like to see differently. And what we're suggesting is that we take a stab at it, okay? It may not be concrete as far as what those metrics are, but at least starts to open the conversation around what they may be, okay? And I'll use a very practical example. Day trippers tend to get a bad rap here on Hilton Head, but I'd like to understand a little bit better if that is a fact or just anecdotal information, right? There's a lot that's involved in the way that we market our town that leads us as a council to make other decisions outside of just the marketing. So those metrics will definitely help us along the way. And the only other comment that I would make, I know that during the timeline, there's going to be a presentation to the ATAX committee, and we thank you, Chair Fluka, for being here. Seems as if the metrics probably need to be communicated to the ATAX committee as well, okay, so that we're all on the same page as far as where we're going. Okay. Yes.
I would be curious, since this is a transition year from the past practice of allocation of ATAX funds, as how that, the transition, for which I personally am very appreciative that the chamber is willing to undertake, how is it, what are the changes that have occurred between last year and this year in regard to the different sources of funding? Thank you.
Yes, seems.
4 or 5 years ago, Destinations International pivoted a little bit and started talking about the key client for DMOs is the community resident, and the alignment with the community interest. I'm wondering whether or not Destinations International has any metrics that we can utilize to bring that change, that pivot to where we are today. Thank you.
Okay. All good up here? Okay, we'll now take public comment on this particular item. Mr. Hoagland.
What we just saw is exactly what a DMO should do. They should produce a vacation planner and a website generically with public info to promote and market our community with aid tax funding. That's what a DMO is supposed to do. That's the legal use of tax funding. A chamber has nothing to do with it. I'm not here to destroy this chamber. I'm not here to harm Bill Miles or anybody else. What I'm trying to do is let you all know what the legal operations are. This chamber is a local business league. It's supposed to do nothing but support its members to help them prosper in the community. It has nothing to do with a DMO. A DMO should be an ad agency. A for-profit ad agency is really what it should be. It's illegal to even keep this up. You can't sell advertising. You can't take tax funds, develop a website and a vacation planner that we didn't show all the advertising in there and on the website, and allow this chamber to sell this advertising. It's illegal. It's illegal under IRS tax codes for a nonprofit to do that. I'm all for what we just saw. Let's make the DMO, whoever that is, and it can't be the chamber. You're going to have to put it up for procurement bids. You can't, for the next 25 years, this chamber cannot be an illegal DMO in perpetuity. We've already given them 35 years of illegally using our money. It's time to end that. A DMO simply takes tax monies and promotes and markets the destination to bring tourism here that we all benefit from. This chamber must start operating legally and properly under national gold standards as a chamber of commerce, and the DMO must operate under national gold standards as a DMO. This is something that y'all just keep on, either you don't understand or you do understand and you just want to keep on funding Bill Miles and the chamber. I don't get it, but it's illegal. At some point, it's going to come to an end. At some point, you're going to have to come to reality.
Any other comments on this particular item? Seeing none, thank you, Angie. Thank you, the partners from the DMO. We will see you guys in March. Okay, our new business, review and discussion of the Town of Hilton Head Islands affiliated agency funding request applications for fiscal year 2025. Mr. Harriman, good morning. Members of the committee, before Mr. Harriman gets started, as we all know, there are 12 applicants here, a few more than last year. We will not be taking any action on this item today. It is just for Mr. Harriman to bring the information before us and let's set forth a game plan as to how we're going to hear from the applicants at our next meeting.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And as you said, the list of applicants is on the screen. And first, I want to give a little background on the process. Town Council voted in August of 21 to establish a process and policy to accept and consider affiliated agency applications. A copy of the memo that Mark Orlando wrote in August of 21 is included in the materials that have been.
One second, Jeff. Kevin, can you turn it back up a little bit? Yes.
Oh, sorry, got you.
Not sure if they can hear you well in the back.
Okay, okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. And the process is as follows. Requesting agencies submit town funding request and application form. The Finance Administrative Committee receives these requests and selects agencies to make presentations as it feels it needs more information on these requests. The selected agencies make a presentation at the next F&A committee meeting outlining their funding requests and answer specific questions relating to program and funding. The F&A committee then makes a recommendation on affiliated agency funding request, and this is included as part of the proposed upcoming fiscal year budget adoption process. So for the fiscal year 2025 affiliated agency process, the following steps have been or will be taken. Initial correspondence was sent to all current town affiliated agencies on December 14th, informing them of the application opening date of January 2nd, 2024. The town issued a press release on January 10th, informing the public of this opportunity. The due date for all applications to be submitted was January 31st, 2024. As you mentioned, the town has received 12 applications, actually 11 applications. One of them is the USCB. 4 of these applications are new applicants. And again, based on the prior actions taken by this committee at its December 19th meeting, a funding request is listed for USCB, and this will be considered by town council at the February 20th, 24 meeting. And as you see on the screen, the total affiliated agency applications for this year are 2,375,641. The amount that was adopted in the current year budget was 2,056,525. So the upcoming calendar is, as you said today, you're receiving the applications, and at this meeting you would determine which applicants you want to make a presentation at the March 12th meeting. And then at the March 12th meeting, you'll hear the presentations, and then at that meeting, you'll make a formal recommendation on the funding requests, which will be incorporated into the FY25 budget. And then town council will consider these funding recommendations as part of the overall budget process, with the first reading of the budget scheduled for May 7th of 2024, and the second reading scheduled for June 4th, 2024. So as you said, today is the process is to determine which applicants you want to make a presentation at the next March 12th meeting.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Harriman. So this is I guess we can't call it a new process anymore because we went through it last year. And the thought, of course, is for us to continue to get better at the process. So some of us were involved in that last year. To my recollection, we invited each and every one of the applicants to come and make a presentation with a time limit associated with it, and we asked questions thereafter. So today's committee work is just to simply decide if we want to continue with that process or go in a different direction, okay? So I will stop there and ask council members to chime in. We'll start with you this time, Mr. Ames.
Thank you, Chair. I think that's a good way to do it. The applicants deserve the time, and we also need to be able to ask questions, so I would say we move ahead. I noticed that there are 2 new applicants. I think each deserves the opportunity to present, but I do have a question as to how our new applicants brought to our attention. And one of them is a nonprofit that deals with medical and health services on the island. And I think that we need to understand the implications of going in that direction and how we select in the future if other similar nonprofits come to the town. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Stanford.
Yes, Jeff, again, a nice report. I think the process that you've laid out is very sensible, and I certainly support it. One question occurs to me for those in the public that may see this report today. That is, can you just briefly describe the definition of an affiliated agency?
So affiliated agency are integral partners contracted by the town to deliver services that benefit the public on the town's behalf. The funding review process is conducted with a commitment to transparency and accountability and is guided by the following criteria to assess the public purpose served for each project: a clear public goal or benefit, who is the primary beneficiary, a speculation level, and the probability of public interest. And this, oh, sorry.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Sorry, I just want to say this is included in there's a little bit more detail, and that is included in the staff report that was posted to the town's website.
I think that's helpful for those who are not familiar with what we're doing. Essentially, I look at affiliated agencies as those that are supporting town goals, objectives, and certainly the comprehensive plan, but they're providing it at a different level from what the town can do. So I think it's an excellent process, and I support moving forward with it. Those are my comments, Alex. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Alfred?
I agree with, that we need to see all of them, not just part of them. There are quite a variation in the detail in which these applications go into. There are a few that have very few facts, and I'm hopeful that that can be expanded at the next presentation. I am also curious as to whether the staff has reviewed these applications and whether they, if they have reviewed them, are going to make any comments to the committee.
I guess I will have to defer. Josh, do you mind if I defer to you on that question? I mean, as far as,
Yes, sir. Staff has reviewed them. I don't know that I could give you any kind of indication as support or opposition or anything like that, but we can certainly answer any questions about the applications themselves. I think the process is set up that if there are questions about what's being proposed, you have an opportunity to have that conversation directly with the applicant at the next meeting. And so we're happy to provide any information, but I don't know that we can go beyond what's included in the materials themselves.
Thank you.
Okay, good. Okay, before we make a final, this is the way we're going, I am going to open up to hear from the public on this. Mr. Hammond. Okay, any public comment on this particular item? Yes, Mr. Hogan.
I think our problem is we're allowing lawyers like Fluker Tax Committee, Gruber, and Coltrane, and others to mislead us, to recommend the use of tax monies illegally, improperly, under the laws that govern the use of accommodation tax monies, hospitality taxes, that, by the way, are in the many millions of dollars that are completely unaccounted for and disappeared. Nobody has seen where all this money has disappeared to. I'm going to bring you back to a very simple law, and this is the reason we sued the town of Hilton Head. I financially backed that, and that's no mystery. I backed that lawsuit against the town of Hilton Head that's ongoing for issuing $600,000 to CPONs for the dredging of Harbortown. That is an illegal use of tax monies because the public does not have access to that private gated community, and you're going to have to pay that money back to taxpayers. The law is very clear. The constitutional law says that you cannot use public monies for private purposes that's not for the public good, the reason, the benefit, and use. It's that simple. And the lawyers just want to twist that and bend that law to just keep on abusing and wasting our tax money. This is our hard-earned tax money. Taxpayers are fed up We're fed up with the federal government, we're fed up with the state government, and we're fed up with the local governments. And I've decided to fight local because I believe if you win local, you win the world. I can't do anything about the whole state and the country, but I can let you know that you must get a grip on this, and let tax monies must be used for the public good and the public reason, not for people using for their private profits like the chamber. It's completely illegal for this chamber to be tax funded and then profit from those tax funds, and worse, pay no taxes. They're completely in violation of tax evasion under the IRS tax codes. You must come to grips with this. This council needs to hire a CPA. You need to hire a forensic audit firm because you don't have the knowledge. I don't have the knowledge. I'm not a forensic auditor. I know a lot about it, more than probably most everybody in this room. But I'm not qualified. I have to hire expert auditors. And that's why I work with even former FBI agents that know how to do this. That's what you need to do. You don't need to listen to this town and the CPA in the town and CPA rate deal of the chamber. You need to hire outside CPA, and you need to get a handle on all this.
Thank you, Mr. Hoagland. Anyone else? Sir.
Good morning. I'm James Williams, Executive Director of Beaufort Jasper Economic Opportunity Commission. We're one of the new applicants this year. Our organization simply is part of the London B. Johnson War on Poverty. We look out for all the low-income households in the county and in the city of Hilton Head. I just want to take this time to say I appreciate the application. I appreciate the forward thinking of this committee and this council for looking out the continual growth and forward thinking of the citizens of Hilton Head. You're doing an excellent job. From where I sit, we appreciate everything that you do for this wonderful community. Keep up the great work.
Thank you, sir. Connor, good morning. Come, please approach.
Good morning. Thank you for explaining the process for the affiliated agency program. And I agree with Councilman Alfred's comment about making sure that we have metrics so that we can make a fact-based decision, so that you can look at how much money is being requested and understand either the economic impact or the number of people that are touched, so that you can make a decision about how that money is spent. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, seeing none, we'll bring it back to the dais. Mr. Chairman, as far as the applicants are concerned, as you've heard from committee members, we'd like to hear from everybody. As we did last year, let's put a time limit on the actual presentation. Okay, we can limit it to 5 minutes. By my calculation, that gives us about an hour.
Okay.
And we'll, of course, have time for a dialogue with questions from the committee members. Thank you, staff, for putting together the binder that has all the backup material in it. So we have that in our possession. If there are particular items of interest that you have, let's get that to staff in a timely manner so that they can then contact the applicants so that their presentations can include that information. Okay, that'll sort of cut down on the questions that we may have at our next meeting. Okay, it's important for us to realize also that we are charged with making a decision here at our next meeting, just so we stay in line with our budget timeline. Is that correct, Mr.
Correct.
Okay,
that is correct, yes.
The more prepared we are, the better at our next meeting for this. And I also, again, invite our fellow colleagues that if you have questions or concerns with these affiliate agencies, please let staff know so we can address them accordingly at the next meeting. Okay?
All right.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate
Thank you.
You getting us prepared and ready for this important endeavor. We have no more business before us, so we will find ourselves adjourned. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your time.